we in? Oh, welcome to the ECL Sunday Challenge, brought to you by the Great Parliament, as usual. Today we have Grimfan. Say hi, Grimfan.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And myself, Drifter. So we have some great Eternals to show you soon.
Yeah, and
we're starting with a match between Dr. Pringles on Yetis versus Prime Temps on some sort of Nightfall aggro. Yes.
Yeah. Did we get the bands? Or did they? Did we not have that information yet?
I don't think we have that information yet.
Okay. Well, we can just go into the game. I suppose we can tell them to start. But
okay. Are you ready? Shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so I can't quite see the other hand yet. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait until they actually. Yeah.
I messaged him, but not yet. So I guess we can talk about the hands. Prime Temps has. I'm not entirely sure what his deck is doing, but it certainly involves Wisps and Soulbringer. So
yeah,
I think this is a keepable hand for him. It has some solid plays. It has decent mana.
Oh.
And Dr. Pringles has.
Yeah, it looks like it's some sort of Zine and Wisp deck, and Dr. Pringles is playing Skycrag Yetis, right?
Yeah, I don't think I would have kept this hand for Dr. Pringles. Like first day turn 3, I don't think it's very exciting. The Skycrag Yetis are capable of much faster starts than this, and they want to be quite fast on the board.
Yeah, you really want a 2-drop with the Yetis deck pretty bad.
I agree, yeah. So you can get pop out early.
Yep. I played Skycrag Yetis to Master this season, actually, and it's pretty important to have an aggressive start.
Yeah, I played it a lot last season.
Meanwhile, the Wisps deck is kind of... it has a little bit of a problem with Overwhelm units. The Pathlighters do a lot to help with that, but the overall... Yeah. Like, overall, they have some problems with cards like Crunch, so it'll be kind of interesting. If he can't actually activate Tribute here, it'll probably be a very tough game.
Yeah. He really wants Pringles to block so that he can just deploy 2 Pathlighters as 3/3s.
Yeah, I don't think Dr. Pringle wants to block in this situation.
Assuming he knows what's going on, yeah, he should definitely not block in this situation. I'm just waiting on Dr. Pringles to declare a block or not declare a block. Okay, he goes for infinite block. I think it's safe to say he didn't realize what was going on there, which I can't blame him for. I haven't seen this much before either.
Yeah, it's really Prime Temps definitely has the advantage as far as like unknown deck goes in this scenario.
Yeah. And you can see Dr. Pringles is really regretting that block decision because now he can't get Crunch through. Also, Dr. Pringles draws a power for the turn, not what he wanted really. He really needs more action than this.
Yeah. I mean, that scouting party is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, turn 6. The question is whether Prime Temps will be able to make enough of a board to deal with that scouting party by then. And I think, given his hand, he should have a very good shot of doing that. Like, he can just Soulbringer back some Pathlighters here. Or just one Pathlighter.
I kind of liked holding that to where you could get two cards worth of value, but I can see in this situation why he might want to.
He just wants to eat the pop, I think.
Yeah.
The prime temps is just at a huge advantage right now.
Yes. Yeah, I think that I mean, the scouting party could help a little bit, but now that the Wisp player, now that Prime Temps has such an advantage, it's going to be pretty tough.
So Prime Temps wanting to wait with Luminous Tenant until he can activate it on the same turn, which is only 1 mana away. Okay. Dr. Pringles throws out the scouting party. And this is normally a very frightening card, like on a lot of emptier boards in this. But here it's not going to be amazing.
Yeah, you really want to combine this with a Wump or... actually, I don't know if Dr. Pringles is running Scatter Shot. Probably not. But you definitely want to combine Scouting Party with Wump. That attack with everything is kind of interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting. I don't know.
I guess we're planning on activating the Attendant most likely then. Just to make a Wisp
and
give back something.
Yeah, they'll give him 2 blockers, but I think I would have left more back. Like, probably as Pathlighter, I would have left back.
Oh, didn't even activate the Attendant.
That's kind of weird. Since now Pringles can just draw 3 cards.
Yeah, but at the same time, you have to have no blockers if you decide to do that.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, the Yeti deck can explode creatures onto the board, but because it's because a lot of the creatures that it's putting out have bond, it ends up not being as many blockers as you might think. So it's kind of hard to attack with everything sometimes.
Mm. So Dr. Pringles grabs a Crystallize. Needs to buy some time. Oh, decides not to attack at all.
Yeah, the crackback being... Yeah, the crackback being almost lethal is kind of a shame when you're playing Scouting Party.
This Crystallize should be able to pick him up some value if enough Yeti survive until then.
Be claimed by shadow.
Prime Temps runs out the Xenon Cultist. Goes for an attack with everything. Which does force Dr. Pringles to commit some of these Yetis, which would otherwise be drawing cards to preserving his life total. That loses 1 Yeti, not too bad. Dr. Pringles draws a merchant off the top. Fires off that Crystallized, looking to draw 3 cards and buy himself some time.
Something catch your eye.
Dr. Pringles pulls another Scouting Party out of the market, representing
That's kind of an
value.
interesting choice. I'm not really sure what he had left in the market to get, though.
He had a Permafrost, an Unstable Form, and an Unseal to get.
Permafrost might have been interesting, but I guess because of Devours and other sacrifice effects, it probably wouldn't have as good of an effect as you'd want.
Yeah, I think if I were him, I like this line going to a Scouting Party. Just maximizing the blockers you have available and putting maximum pressure on the board. And the ability to draw more cards into more pressure. The Prime Temps in the tank, looking for a Dark Return, perhaps.
I mean, if he takes it slow, I think Prime Temps is in a pretty commanding position here. Although the Scouting Party is going to be pretty rough.
Be an issue.
The Dark Return can get back the Soulbringer though, which is pretty scary.
Chain off.
Oh, that's interesting.
I guess you really wanted to draw a card.
But there might have been an argument for saving that for a turn where you could bring back Soulbringer and get the most value. I guess.
Yeah.
I guess he can still do that with the Wisp that I cannot remember the name of. For the Magenta Wisp. We can still do that with the Magenta Wisp.
Magenta Wisp, pretty powerful draw card. I haven't seen it too much in Constructed, but
yeah,
it belongs in the Wisp deck.
It's definitely very good in the Wisp deck, and Soulbringer is just a very powerful card. As we're about to see, getting back maybe 2 Pathlighters. Those they would be 6.
I think one of them has to be the Dark Wisp killer, because it's a 4/4
That's a good
killer.
point. Yeah, that's a good point. It probably should be. Oh, 5/5, of course.
Okay, Dr. Pringles has seen enough. As you can see, this Wisp deck is quite hard to outvalue, at least when you're a fairly aggressive deck. Like
Yep.
Dr. Pringles one.
Yep. All right, so we still don't know what
What, sorry?
what they banned, right?
Yeah. We can ask them, I guess. Hang on. Alright, I've now asked the players what they banned. Okay. Dr. Pringles banned TJP, it looks like.
Okay.
And Prime Temps has banned Nostrix. I assume that's like Nostrix Porter? Jetside Porter? I'm gonna assume so. Maybe.
Yeah, it looked like Justice Shadow Primal mid-range deck. Probably
Really?
focusing. Yeah, I think that's what it looked like to me. It wasn't exactly like a Scream deck or anything like that. Let me look at the list again. So it did have Hailstorm, but it wasn't running Harsh Rules. It was a little bit like Bruised by God's Huru deck, but running some interesting Shadow Splashes like Stone Powder Alchemist, and I mean, I guess if you can call Macdo a splash, Macdo as well.
Oh yeah, I brought up the deck list now. Shelter Wing Riders, Empire Alchemist. This is an interesting deck.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like they might be into the next game already. Let me...
Okay. I'm back on Dr. Pringles. Yeah, the Dr. Pringles has just kept his hand. I think Prime Temps is waiting for us to give him the go-ahead. So when you're ready.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so Dr. Pringles has a much better hand than last time, I think. He has a much faster draw available. He only has 2 power, which is the trade-off. But it is a much faster start. And he only really needs 1 power to get going here.
Yeah, this looks like a really nice start. This is a little Yeti on Yeti action.
Yep, Prime Temps also on Yetis now. Oh, Prime Temps probably has the slightly better start attacks because he has more power available.
Yeah, but if Dr. Pringles can land the Wump and actually start pressuring that way, that would be good. Plus, Dr. Pringles has Island's Intervention in hand, and that's a pretty big card in the mirror match.
Definitely. Island's Intervention, the Yeti mode, gives all your Yetis 3 health, which can be a huge blowout in this matchup.
Surprisingly, a really good card. Every mode is fairly relevant, which is kind of weird.
Okay, Prime Tense goes straight in with the slope.
Probably just looking to get rid of some of this power. There's a lot of
Yeah,
power in
I
hand
agree.
right now.
And you can see he does just pitch 2 power there.
Getting rid of the crest is kind of interesting.
Dr. Pringles decides to keep that torch on top. Very good in this matchup. And runs out of slope. He's looking for one more power, like one more power, and he's probably just online.
Yeah, and honestly, the Wump and Crunch combo will probably get him to power most likely. Gets rid of the intervention, so not interested in blocking. It looks like. But now Prime Temps has the intervention. I mean, the game looks to me a little bit more in favor of Prime Temps right now, but a lot of it is going to be Dr. Pringles drawing a power. Wump plus power and permafrost could basically just flip the board.
Or 1 plus Thud Rock, the classic combo. If he draws a Thud Rock with the Wump, then it's just probably just over. I can't imagine Prime Temps being able to beat that.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Alright, Prime Temps straight in with both attacks, which is interesting. Choosing to attack the Fearless Yeti into the slope, which immediately Dr. Pringles goes for. He's happy to trade this for a torch and the Fearless Yeti. I guess he really wanted this off the board so he can make room for his Thud Rock. Give his Thud Rock a better attack next turn.
Something gets your eye.
Oh. Interesting. Prime Temps goes for the Merchant play. Oh. Yeah, if he puts Thud Rock on the board, he can't actually torch this turn, so yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah, and I think he really is going to need to leave up torch.
Oh. He didn't go for the torch on the slope and the turn there.
Yeah, I think he's saving it for something like Wump.
And one comes out.
Yeah, it may pay off.
I think I would not have attacked with the Fearless Yeti if this was your plan. To leave up torch.
Yeah, it's a little bit suspect for sure.
Okay. So chooses to trade off the Genev Merchant for this Fearless Yeti. Takes 8 damage. 9 damage.
I'm not sure that I like that plan very much. I think I'd rather trade for the champion.
Yeah, I agree. I think Charter just represents a lot more damage.
You also have a Crystallize in hand. I mean, you don't really want to use it, but Crystallize defensively doesn't feel great.
I agree.
But at the same time, I think that needed to be like factored into the plan, because now things are a little bit awkward. I mean, you could play Thud Rock, but you really do not want to block with Thud Rock. But if you commit yourself to not blocking, you're taking at least 8 damage, and you're now at 4, which is pretty bad. I wonder if the permafrost
chooses to run out and merchant.
Okay, is the permafrost not in the market anymore? I guess I can look at that.
Yeah,
looks like the permafrost is still in the market, but
I think I would have gone for the permafrost there.
Yeah, I think so too, because you can block the champion and permafrost the slope sergeant.
Just reduces the damage you're taking by a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, Prime Temp's gamble does not pay off because he doesn't actually draw the power he needed. Yeah, to be able to play the scouting party.
Yeah, and scouting party isn't even super great in this
and
situation.
Dr. Pringles has easily lethal here with his torch.
Yep.
One over lethal. Chooses the costly intervention to protect from torch, I suppose. Okay, and we'll be moving on to the next game. So we're at 1-1 right now. So this will be the deciding game, I believe. Best of 3.
Yes.
Okay.
So it looks like it's going to be Fel and Scream versus Yetis as their last matchup. I actually found that the Yeti deck has a pretty good edge in this matchup.
Oh, you think so? I haven't actually played this matchup.
Yeah, Felon Scream usually, although I don't know what Dr. Pringle's Scream deck looks like exactly.
It looks like he has an Insatiable Cerasaur in his hand here, and 2 Equivocates.
Oh, so we're not just a Felon Scream. I misread the deck. We are a literal dinosaur Scream deck. Well, this might be a little bit harder for the Yeti's deck then. They can start whenever they want. If you guys haven't figured this out, by the way, I'm both producing and casting the game, so please be patient with anything you see on the screen that's wrong. I'm trying to fix it as it comes. It's pretty... This is the first time I've produced and cast, so I also might not be quite as entertaining as usual just because I'm really focused on trying to get the screens to look good and everything to be right, so...
I think we can all agree. Grimpan's doing a great job on the entertaining part so far.
But normally in this matchup, your Island's interventions are actually quite good because obviously Scream gives things flying, right? So, and most of the units are small enough that an intervention will actually kill it once it's been screamed.
Yeah.
However, with Cerasaur, I think the game changes a little bit, right? Because now you're gonna scream this giant thing from your void, and I don't think intervention.
Basically, you pay all of your mana and give Cerasaur that much power and toughness.
Yeah.
So every time it attacks, it gets larger and larger, and it becomes quickly very hard to deal with.
Yeah, so Cerasaur definitely changes the math a little bit on the whole intervention thing.
So you can see Dr. Pringles straight away equivocate this.
I mean, technically he upgraded Wump, but yeah, that was a good equivocate, I think. Seraph is a little bit of that's a rough equivocate, but because it's such a good blocker. But at the same time, you can always try again. I think he's got another equivocate in hand, so.
Yep.
I don't think you want to do that, but you could.
Well, Seraph can't block this Cerasaur anyway. It's going to be too big for pretty much anyone to block well. He might be able to double block it with this Champion Fury, but he really doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, I think Prime Timps is really just going to be looking for permafrost here. It's going to probably be a while. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. So instead of bonding, the Pog Pog goes for the 4-2 attack.
And I think you just trade Dust Raider for this. Yeah, he goes for the trade and gets Island's intervention.
So it looks like Prime Timps has dedicated himself to racing Dr. Pringles then? Just take the Cerasaur hits. Hopefully you draw some sort of permafrost or just block it with your scouting party tokens.
The issue with that is Dr. Pringles can still play stuff here. He can pump the Cerasaur a bit and play a 3-drop here if he wants, for example. He could play an Abyssal here and pump it for 2. He might just go straight for the 8-power attack, but I think I would play Abyssal here or Equivocate here.
I like this. I like playing the Equivocate, probably playing the Flyer as well. Just get the Nightfall triggers. You could just go for the attack with the Cerasaur. It does play around Torch really well. But having the Berserk Dinosaur in the air plus Nightfall is pretty appealing. Of course, it gets shot down, but now that's a really great Scream target since it has Berserk.
So it gets another Seraph attack in. Now, I think Prime Timps just jams his scouting party here. Yep.
Yeah.
Straight in with the scouting party.
Just has a bunch of chump blockers. You don't really want the Cerasaur to die anyway, honestly.
So interesting to see what Dr. Pringles does here. I think you probably run out the Abyssal and maybe screen the other Abyssal. I think you need to put as much pressure on possible because you can't really set up great blockers for this. For the scouting party.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dr. Pringles goes for play 1 Abyssal and attack for 6.
I don't like chump blocking though. I like just
I would
taking 6 here. You kind of want to just swing back with pretty much everything. Maybe play the Grenadin token and the random ankle cutter. Leave up Torch.
Yeah. And Prime Timps would have drawn 1 extra card by not chump blocking.
Yeah.
And 6 life for a card is pretty reasonable deal, I think. when you're on the sort of life total. 17 life.
Yeah, we're still pretty safe.
First Prime Tense is just afraid of like a Cerasaur 12-12 attack. So. But at that point, you can chop Ben. So it's like,
Yeah, I mean, as long as you keep that Cerasaur alive, you're fine, right? You just do not want that to go to the void. Some of these decks run... I don't know if Dr. Pringle's deck is running Devour, but that's kind of like... It looks like he did not fit Devour into his list, so... I mean, I would just be okay keeping that Dusk Raider alive as long as possible, chumping it. As long as one of those don't go to the void, you're not going to die to it, really.
Yep. And Pringles just screams an Avasaur here, I believe. Yeah, Avasaur comes out.
Yeah, just once the Nightfall, plus I think that was probably just the best target in his void.
Yep. Eats a torch. Prime Tense chooses again to preserve his life total rather than take 6 damage here.
It looks like he just has lethal. All right.
Yep. Absolutely. Prime Tense was pretty close to activating Seraph there as well. That would have been exciting.
So it looks like Prime Temps won that one.
Yep. 2-1 to Prime Tense.
We definitely do not have a backup match set up. That is for sure.
Okay, we can have a look for one. Do we know which ones are still going? Okay. Duncan has given us one, it looks like.
Okay.
I need to add these people.
Yeah, who do you want to add?
I'll add Kalos then, since that's the first
Okay.
one. Grab. Alright, I'm in. Selecting Kalos now.
All right, as soon as I get C4 on my list, I'll go ahead and switch us over to the combat.
I'll ask him. Oh, wait, I don't have that, so I can't ask him. But so Kalos is on Dragon Crunch, Canadans, the Squire version.
Ooh, that scene doesn't do anything. Okay.
Has a Combustion Cell out, the most important card in Dragon Crunch Canadans.
I think CFAR is probably locked in deep concentration here.
Okay. Yeah, just... I can't see his hand yet. So Safar's spitting some stuff out. Lots of small creatures. Let me just check what Safar's playing. He's playing Black Market. Interesting. Oh, this looks like an interesting Chalice build. Oh, wait, no. Hang on. Wrong deck.
And just so the audience knows, I'm working on it. I'm going to get us there. We're going to do it.
I believe you. Oh, he's on the Torrent of Spiders. Wait, no. A Mask of Torment.
Keep describing it. This sounds really cool.
Some sort of Mask of Torment nest. It has a lot of sweeper effects, 8 sweeper effects, and 4 in the story, 4 harsh rule. 4 devastating setback too. And then it looks like it's just trying to eke out advantage with Moondials and Mask. Torment.
Okay, I got us a game until C4 adds me. We will not be able to see C4's hand though. Okay. But that's okay. So yeah, it looks like Kalos is on some sort of Kennedan's deck. And C4 is definitely on one of his patented control lists. It's really, it's actually really hard for the Kennedan's deck to win a matchup like this. The Mask deck just has such ridiculous inevitability.
It's also really hard to have units out
Yeah.
for end of hostilities.
Generally, the mask deck, the only units you'd want to copy would be maybe the Tormentor.
Yeah.
And it looks like Seafar's handled any combustion cell nonsense or anything that could possibly be.
Yeah. Takes out that combustion cell. The most important card in the matchup.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. That and Kenna are.
I actually see
Just another mask. It looks like this. We're in the snore phase of this game, where the mask player probably won't be able to lose.
No. Kalos could still top deck end of hostilities.
Could,
probably
yeah.
Wouldn't buy them a lot of time, but
yeah, she could create her own Tormentor, but I have a feeling that wouldn't really. I mean, Tormentor flies, but I don't think it would fly in this game, honestly.
Yeah, and these fightlings are just draining Kalos the one every time they die.
So Seafar vanquishes his own Tormentor just to make more Spitelings. That's the phase of this game we're in. Oh, and an Alchemist. I like Stone Powder Alchemist in this deck. I wonder if Seafar is running both Alchemist and Combre Healer. Probably.
Yeah, he is. I have his deck last time. He has both.
I've looked at Alchemist as an offensive, like sort of an offensive Combre Healer in a way, and it definitely helps quite a bit.
Yeah, it does a very similar role of keeping you alive, and it does damage to the face.
Yeah.
Provides you a lot of reach and inevitability.
Do we know what game they're in?
I'll ask. Alright, I just asked Kalos. So we'll see. Alright. So far just banishes this Alchemist to get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Kalos says they're 1-1, about to be 1-2, I believe. To her.
And also Mega Dead. Yeah, that is a good descriptor of the current scenario.
So I'll just tell Duncan this thing about her sideboard. Yep, she's about to be 1-2. Yep.
Alrighty. Well, I think we should probably take a little break then, and maybe move, and then we'll just be back for the next round. What do you think?
Yep, let's do it. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. See you soon.
That is not the right screen.
This is cracked, and we're gonna be seeing. So, practice has been banned for flippy flop, and Combre has been banned for cracked. That leaves us with cracked. Cracked variety has a Rakana deck and a Yeti deck available, and it looks like flippy flop has.
A Dark Alessi deck, which is kind of interesting, and a
Tavro and Sam together.
Like a mid-range Fire Justice Primal Flyers Copperhall Bracer, kind of a weird deck. It almost looks like it could have been playing Horde Plunderer at some point, and then maybe Flippy Flop decided to remove it. That's possible because they're playing 3 Linebreaker Shield, which is kind of weird. Plus
3 Copperhall Bracers.
Yeah, I mean, it really Linebreaker Shield. Maybe they're trying to act like mini Deep Forge plates. It's kind of cool.
And I think Linebreaker Shield is quite a powerful card.
Yeah, Linebreaker Shield is quite powerful,
and it's really, really powerful in drafts. I've only really seen it there. Not really seen it very much in Constructed.
Yeah, it's mostly a draft powerhouse. I've played it in Constructed and Horde Plunderer deck before. It does do really well in that deck, but at the same time, it's it's no changey stick. Even in Constructed, it's no changey stick. That card is still very broken. But I can see the reasoning for playing it because there's a lot of permafrost in at least on the ladder, and there's definitely a lot in tournaments. So I can see it being really good.
I've seen the Braces plus Crow combo before, and that's really powerful. Braces plus Crow is just a lot of value, a lot of power. Like it's like 12 damage that you get 2 spells. You get 2 Justice Sigils if you hit them. Yeah, that's just a really powerful combination.
It looks like the players still have not. Oh, okay, there we go. Crack Variety is now in the game. Are you? I just added Crack Variety. We didn't really plan that out, huh?
Okay, I'm on Flippy Flop, so that's fine.
Perfect.
I already had another. So Flippy Flop has a 1-lander, which I don't think he can keep.
Yeah, and Crack Variety looks like sort of in a similar situation. Although this is maybe a 1-power hand I could almost get behind. If only
it has a Seek Power set.
It does have a Seek Power, but if that monument was a dual sigil, I think that would be perfect. But unfortunately, I think I would still mulligan this.
I think that's a Waystone, not a monument. Yeah, it's a Waystone.
Sorry, Waystone. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, I think I've mulliganed that for Crack Variety as well. So we're going to see double mulligan, I believe. So should we give them the go?
Yeah, they can start whenever.
And I don't have Crack Variety. Okay, Flippy Flop mulls into a better hand. It's lacking double primal for the Crow, but it can at least play a turn 2 Bullet Shaper and has a torch.
Now this hand for Crack Variety is very interesting. You know, when I was looking at this deck, I did label it as Rakano Armory because I saw a die show in the top end of the deck, but I really wasn't expecting. I didn't look carefully enough. I didn't see all these harsh rules and end of the stories. It's very interesting. Generally, when you build a Rakano deck like this, it's very tough to fit in the harsh rules and the end of the stories and that kind of thing, and still have it be powerful enough. But I'm interested in seeing how this plays out. That Aegis unit is going to do a lot of work, though.
Yep. So we can see the Bullet Shaper mirror here.
Decides to silence the Bullet Shaper instead of popping the Aegis. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if we'll see another opportunity in a while for Crack Variety to actually get that Aegis off that unit.
Maybe he's just planning the Runehammer at some point.
Yeah, maybe.
Or end of the story can actually pierce Aegis if you get tribute on it. So maybe
yeah, I do wonder if hitting tribute is realistic though.
Yeah, that's true.
The deck lists are known, so it's going to be a little harder to make that happen, I think.
You can always go for the torch your own unit line. And then
You can, yeah. That's a kind of exciting.
So Flippy Flop now going to jam the races on this crow like I talked about.
Oh yeah. And that crow does not take damage. This is going to be Value Town. What does the crow get? Ooh, Detain is an excellent hit.
Oh, is Crack Variety going to chump block already?
I don't think you can afford to do that. But
Decides
maybe.
to go to 3. He doesn't even block the Bullet Shaper with the Falcon Force, so that's a misstep.
And his Seek Power. Wow, this crow is endless value.
I think this game may just be over.
Yeah, because Crack Variety hasn't drawn a 5th power, I think that it is going to be tough for them to win. That, and you know, that decision on turn 3 to not pop the Aegis, I think it's come back to bite him just a little bit.
And I think he should definitely have blocked the Bullet Shaper with the Falcon Forcer there.
Yeah.
That would have just prevented 2 damage there.
I think he may have considered blocking the crow twice. That's kind of one of those...
Okay, crow down. Oh yeah,
he
just
decides to go ahead and pop this Aegis.
That's interesting.
It is interesting. I guess the hope is that there's an undepleted sigil in our future and we can maybe use that harsh rule. He is, yeah. The Torch and the Vanquish are going to clean him up.
Oh, actually he can he can chump with Bullet Shaping and you go to 1. Not quite dead.
Oh yeah, you're right.
My bad.
I completely forgot that the Bullet Shaper could block.
Not something you want to do with Bullet Shaper at this stage, but you're going to untap and Harsh Roll, hopefully. Oh, Flippy Flop plays right into Harsh Roll. Which is interesting.
Does,
I think
but does
that
not
Aegis
get punished. Yeah, that...
I think that Aegis Pot signified Harsh Roll, so I would not have played another crow there.
Yeah, I agree. That was definitely...
Okay, so 1-0 to Flippy Flop currently.
Yep, that was definitely kind of a small misstep on Flippy Flop's part, but you know, even if that goes down and we end up losing our board to Harsh Roll there, I don't really know if that affects too much. I guess it hurts a little bit, but
it would hurt a bit. I'm not sure you can come back from that.
I actually don't remember his hand, so it's possible that he wouldn't have come back from that. But it's the
he could just draw a torch at any point. Flippy Flop.
Yeah, he could draw a torch. We're still 2 power on Crack Variety's side away from being able to play Ikaria. It would have been a really tough comeback for Crack Variety to actually win that game, even post Harsh Roll, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And him not blocking that 2 damage didn't actually end up costing him, since I don't think he could have won that game anyway.
Yeah, although it could have cost him in the long run, since that's the difference between being at 2 and 4, I guess. You know, just in torch range or not in torch range.
I think it was 1 and 3 actually. So
was it 1 and 3? Okay.
I think
maybe not. Then you're right.
All right.
Looks like they're in the second.
Looks like they're back in game. I'm gonna take Flippy Flop again. Oh, they've done a few turns already.
That's fine. So now it's Crack Variety went with the Ricano Armory deck once again, and Flippy Flop
was
has
on Combre Alessi.
Yeah, well, it's a dark Alessi deck, which is a little different, but still pretty interesting. Flippy Flop's hand doesn't look so good though. The Tavrod could be good, but for the most part, it's kind of lacking.
So he has a couple of options. He could just pass the turn and play Tavrod next turn, but he chooses straight to lose his Interrogator to this Rune Helmet.
Well, it's kind of like you do want this thing to die, right? You do want the Interrogator to die just so that you can bring it back and start drawing cards with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he could have waited and played the Tavrod.
Well, I think his line is fine given the start with him.
Yeah. And you know, Tavrod with one of those blades on it is pretty ridiculous. And it gets more crazy when Tavrod is played and one of those blades has Destiny. That's pretty crazy. But we know that Crack Variety has the answer to Tavrod in hand.
But the second Tavrod, he might struggle a bit. He might have to Harsh Roll.
Maybe, but do you Dark Return the Tavrod or the Interrogator here?
I think I would go.
I guess we go for the Tavrod. Okay.
Well,
Well,
I think I would have gone for Interrogator because you can play it this
yeah.
turn.
Yeah,
That's very important.
it's a bit awkward now because you can't really protect this tab run.
And now Flippy Flop goes down to 5 life. Takes a lot of damage here. Okay, Flippy Flop pulls it there. Which he wasn't actually dead. He could go to 1, but Crackfire already has his torch in his hand. Not that Flippy Flop knows that, but he could have seen.
All right. Well, it looks.
He'll set for his hand.
Yeah, it looks like our last matchup that we're going to see in this is Skycrag Yetis versus the Dark Alessi deck again.
Looking forward to that. The Dark Alessi deck looks very interesting.
Yeah, honestly, the Skycrag Yetis deck might take over the game before the Dark Alessi deck can get going, though. But if there is this does look like a slightly underpowered version of the Yeti deck, though. We're running Yeti Spies, Yeti Snowslinger. Yeah, Snowslinger's in there as well. Cinder Yeti's kind of an interesting card.
Well, Cinder Yeti is a very good card, but Yeti Snowslinger, Yeti Spy, I'm not so sure about, honestly.
And it looks like we're running a fire market, which is very interesting. It looks like they're already in the game, so.
Also, Yeti Pulse. That's kind of interesting. Okay, looks like we've arrived. Yep,
they've just started. Crack Variety has a pretty good hand here. The turn one.
I'm expecting. I've got a spectator glitch. I've got to. Thank you.
Oh, okay. The turn one Yeti Spy is not super powerful. I might have went with the 2-1, but I mean, hey, when you've got a turn one Yeti Spy, you probably want to play it.
Yeah, you want to be able to draw a card off it, I guess.
Yeah.
The card is very underwhelming. You're gonna draw a card off it.
Flippy Flop, on the other hand, has a pretty slow hand. But Sword of Unity is pretty excellent. Well, yes, he'll be able to play it eventually.
Eventually, hopefully.
If he lost, yeah.
Crack Variety misses his third land drop.
Yep, and I didn't see Yeti Pult. I didn't look at the list close enough, but Yeti Pult's a nice little card draw engine in the late game.
I think just on the basis that Crack Variety is missing land drops, Flippy Flop is slightly ahead right now.
Yeah. The 3/3 here is actually more of a problem than it looks.
Oh, very much.
Just because we have to now stop attacking, and when the Yeti deck stops attacking, it gets pretty sad.
The first step innovation.
So if you rips the tabber off the top. So 50 Volt may want to just stand together to avoid getting this exhausted. Yep, go straight for it. And now Crack Variety has no good attacks.
I like that because you have some really good plays next turn.
I agree. Loses Pop.
We just have to. Sadly, we only get to play a Tab Rod.
Well, we get to
sabotage too, but I mean,
snowball down. So yeah, I think this is going to be very hard for Crack Variety to come back from. A deck like the Yeti deck that really doesn't want to get behind one board, and he's very behind them now. It's possible he can go wide enough with a bunch of soaks, but it's going to be hard with a Sword of Unity coming out. So.
Yeah, and Cloud of Ash not actually exhausting Tab Rod's a pretty big deal here.
I know. Yeah.
Well, now it's not going to exhaust anything because of Aegis, but
it's going to break some Aegis.
Yeah, it will. It will break Aegises. I'm not sure that'll be enough, though, unfortunately. Hits an Interrogator off of... I think Crack Variety has to go
a quad block here. 3, 2, 2, 1. Yeah, exactly.
Probably. And I think Flippy could have actually attacked with a couple more things as well, but,
I agree.
All right, and I have been informed that this is the last... That was the last match in the round, which, God, these rounds are just flying by.
All right, so I guess we'll go to a break again until next round. So thanks for watching, everyone. See you soon.
Okay.
Oh, hello everyone. We're back with round 3 now between Flippy Flop and Suno. Looks like Flippy Flop has banned TGP Flyers, and he's currently playing a looks like Icaria Blue. Yes, Icaria Blue. FJP mid-range, he calls it, in fact. So maybe it's a more mid-rangey list than the Icaria Blue list we've seen so far. Oh yeah, there's a final set, I'll say, probably.
Yeah, all right. I'll just get us into the game then.
Okay.
And yeah, it looks like, oh, maybe I did not read Suno's list correctly.
Looks like
'Cause I
Suno
saw-
banned Praxis, by the way.
Suno banned Praxis? The Praxis tokens? Okay.
And he is on the classic Icaria list, removal pile. As for hands, Flippy Flop doesn't have a very keepable hand, I think. He has like a few too many lands in his hand for a mid-range deck. And Suno has an interesting hand. It has some removal options. I think you probably keep this hand.
Yeah, I like that keep.
Are we ready to go?
Yes, yeah, we can start, sorry. I may be a little bugged out, though. I may have to actually redo the observation. Because I've got Suno's portrait over the cards. Is that normal? Oh, nope, there we go. It fixed itself.
It's gone now. Yeah, I think that's just the glitch that happens at the start. Oh, actually, I think it might be when one person is kept and the other person is not kept. Okay, Flippy Flop, which with a much better hand for his mid-range deck. And Suno looking for untapped power or things to do. It finds the untapped power.
So yeah, when I was looking at this Huru deck, it looked more like a mid-range, or sorry, the not Akari, not the Huru deck, the Fire Justice Primal deck. It looked, yeah. This is the same deck that Flippy Flop won with against Crack Variety.
Yeah, the Crow deck, isn't it?
Yeah. I like this deck. I like Aegis units and equipment. It's a pretty good strategy.
Yeah. It reminds me of the Shelter Wing Rider Deep Watch deck. It's playing those cards, and that used to be a big thing in the before Set 4 released. Not a thing with a great mana base, but a big thing. So interesting to see whether he'll play as Merchant here or not, or just look to harsh roll. Looks like he's going for the harsh roll.
Looks like if he wanted to Merchant, probably Runehammer would be one of his better choices here. The problem is that he knows that there's weapons in Flippy Flop's deck, so Runehammer might not work out all that well. He does have an Annihilate still, so... I mean, I like Suno's, being patient, waiting on, see what Flippy Flop does here.
He does have 2 harsh rolls, so he's more than fine with waiting.
Yeah.
Getting a 2-for-1, yeah. Flippy Flop, obviously, in this match, has to be cognizant of the fact that Suno has harsh roll.
Yeah, well, not just harsh roll, but he knows he still has some sort of fast spell, and he's probably aware that he shouldn't commit something into a potential Annihilate, that kind of thing.
If Flippy Flop really wants to draw like Shelter Wing Rider here, he does not.
Yeah, he kind of just needs any creature really to just start going. We know that he definitely wants a creature with Aegis, but at the same time, he just needs a creature so he can start slapping down this plate on something.
I'm sure Suno is overjoyed that he's played no creatures yet.
yeah, probably.
So Suno digging through that market. What do you think he'll get here? I can't actually see his market.
Probably Ikaria. He's got Ikaria, Rizan, Harsh Rule, Runehammer. But Ikaria, obviously, the primo finisher, puts away the harsh rule. That's kind of
Converts that rule
interesting.
into
I guess he believes the Annihilate's just good enough to finish off any other threats in this game.
Well, Flippy Flop didn't play a creature, so he must assume he's light on
Yep.
creatures. Okay, Flippy Flop torches a Kari to break the Aegis, and then he's going to vanquish it on his turn.
Yeah, I mean that is unfortunately the plan.
This is not great for Flippy Flop, with these two weapons
No.
rotting in his hand.
What did you say the player's banned one more time?
So Suno banned Praxis midrange, and Flippy Flop banned TJP flies. Okay, Flippy Flop has had enough. Cannot find any units. I think that's a bit of a premature concede, but
It's a little hard to come back, unfortunately, when you're a deck like what Flippy Flop was playing.
yeah, he's just very unfavored in the late game.
Yeah.
So 1-0 to Suno so far.
You really, I think if you know your opponent has removal pile in their pile of decks, you probably don't want to actually. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, both of Flippy Flop's decks are basically weapon decks, but I'd probably try to play the Stand Together deck. The problem is that the Alessi deck has, generally the Combre one at least, I don't know about the Dark one, but the Combre one has a lot of trouble against Big Praxis, so he may have been worried about that matchup. Because the Big Praxis deck, depending on what's in the market, can just end up, dropping a giant World Bearer or whatever. And
Yep.
What is the card, the Sentinel that comes in and bounces all your stuff?
Neverquake Titan.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, Novaquake Titan can be a problem. But I think since Flippy Flop's playing Dark Alessi, I don't know.
He knows the list. There are no Neverquakes in his list, as far as I can see.
Oh, there are no Novaquakes in Suno's list? Okay. Looks like they're back into the game, so we can just go back in
Back
there.
to Flippy Flop. Right. I think they're waiting for our go-ahead. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, Flippy Flop has a much better hand this time around. Has a Hammer Paladin.
Yeah, and Suno's hand is pretty unexciting. I mean, we get 2 trips to the market. That's pretty appealing. And this Karasaur could be kind of okay. The Carnosaur is going to be quite good, most likely.
Yep.
So, but a very slow start for Big Praxis, which definitely helps Flippy Flop a lot.
I think I'll probably want to get a Zen Initiation for the Stormwalker with one of these merchants.
Yeah. But do you play the Dawnwalker first, or do you just lead off with the merchant so you have more power, so you can Dawnwalker plus Initiation?
I would definitely lead off with the merchant. It just gives you a lot more options.
Yeah, I like that too. Gets the Carnosaur, which is kind of interesting. So it doesn't look to do the turn 5 play where you give the Dawnwalker killer and set it up for the rest of the game.
I think I would have gone for that, but Carnosaur is also really good in this matchup. Draws another Carnosaur.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I think I would have gone for the Initiation play just because it sets you up to actually have a turn 5. And now turn 5 playing another merchant, that's kind of weak.
Yeah.
Especially if Flippy Flop puts a weapon on one of these units, it's going to be it could be a problem actually.
It takes damage.
You'll take some damage and also might set it up to where you may not be able to come back tempo wise is the problem.
He could have just killed this Cthulhu Battle Mage if he had gotten the Zen Initiation, in fact. Taken it out, and then, yeah, it'd be much harder for Flippy Flop to set something up.
Finest Hour is a nice draw for Flippy Flop.
Oh. So it goes to the
Opts
break.
opts to do the Copperhall Blessing instead of leaving up Finest Hour.
So Suno takes 10.
Well, okay, because of the connection of Copperhall Bracers, we still get to leave up. Never mind.
Well, he
I
chooses
don't
not
really
to.
like that Seek Power. I mean, I know that it lets you play Razan, but Initiation's kind of one of the ways that you end up having a problem in this game.
Or Carnosaur itself.
Yeah,
Any
or
killer.
Carnosaur, yeah. But I guess if you're thinking that your opponent's going to kill the 6-1, but that doesn't make that much sense to me.
The Carnosaur would die if you kill the 6-1. So.
Yeah, I think if you're Suno here, you definitely... Okay, I am not Suno, so that is not what I probably would have done, but it's interesting. It gets you a little more damage for sure.
There's two merchants in play which can just block the 6-1 was a thing, so I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Okay, goes for a 6-power attack. Suno down to 9 life.
Suno might be thinking more on the, getting damage onto your opponent, and also you've got these Carnosaurs to hopefully eat this Battle Mage. But now
so
with...
Carnosaur's about to get blown out.
Yeah, now with Finest Hour, it becomes a lot more troublesome.
Yeah, I think Suno's probably gonna have to chump block this turn. And he'll die if he doesn't chump block this turn, in fact.
Yeah, I wonder what he'll do. He may not chump block. I think that he might think he can't really beat a trick anyway. And he needs to keep this merchant alive, because if he loses it, he can't play the Carnosaur next turn unless he draws power.
Yep. Let's see what Suno decides to do. Okay.
Decides to go ahead and block. That is definitely the play to not die here. Probably just see the result.
I'm not sure it's the winning play, but it is the... Yeah, I'm not sure it's the winning play, but it's definitely the play not to die.
Oh, Ghost Face. That's kind of weird.
I don't like that play.
No, me neither. I like killing that Dawnwalker for sure, because now the Dawnwalker can freely kill one of these units.
Yeah, I can just kill Rizan and then he doesn't have V anymore.
Yep. Yep, I mean, not a huge problem, but kind of annoying.
It could be a problem, honestly.
It could, yeah. But at this point, with a Finest Hour and another Rizan in hand, it's looking a little bit tough still to lose this game.
Yeah, 50 Volt can just draw Torch if he decides to go face with this one. This one I don't mind. This one I would go face with.
Yes, I agree.
You will be judged.
Alright, 50 Volt is also live for top deck Icarias, the classic. Okay, just draws the torch.
There's the torch.
There she goes. Alright, so
they're tied up?
Yep, 1-1. And heading into game 3 shortly.
So we're going to see Big Praxis versus Dark Alessi. I did talk a little bit how I felt like the Big Praxis deck was favored, kind of, but it's Dark Alessi, so anything goes. This could be pretty different.
Yeah, I think it's a very high rarely sort of deck, so it's difficult to tell sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you can just have, like, insane Alessi tools. Also, I think they're in-game.
Yes, they are in-game. I've already put us over.
Okay, looks like Flippy thought mulled his original hand, which was very slow, and didn't have any Justice influence.
I'm going to take a look at Flippy Flop's deck a little bit more, just because I'm kind of curious what the removal suite looks like in this Dark Alessi. So we mostly just have Vanquishes for, like, as counter cards. And wow, there's only 2 Vanquishes in this deck as far as removal.
2 Varus choice. Freezing Initiation.
That's true. I suppose you could use the choice as removal. Initiation does count as removal, but it's kind of, and it is very good against the Big Praxis deck. But it does require you to have a nice creature in play. So
yeah, it's awkward situational removal more than actual removal.
So I guess Flippy Flop has sniffed out the torch at some point here and decides to keep the Alessi in hand instead of playing it. Instead of trying to, like, maybe hold a Seek Power to play it. I wonder what is, let me see. So Flippy Flop in his market has Initiation, Banish.
Stand Together.
Yeah.
Banner, Sword of Unity.
I don't know what you
I
would
wonder
get
what
here.
you
Maybe
get.
banish. You kind of want to
banish.
kill this Titan.
Yeah, you kind of want to just relieve some pressure for yourself.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's thinking about what's on the board right now rather than what'll come down later. But I think it's still fine. You're playing Tavrod this turn most likely. Tavrod's. Oh, Alessi. Oh, I see.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
Yeah, he's going to go for the Alessi banish line.
Could go for Alessi banish. There's also some merit of just holding the Alessi and like in response, you know, standing together this torch. I thought the Flippy Flop had figured out there was a torch in Suno's hand.
I think I would have waited and seen what happened until next time.
Yeah, maybe. I actually kind of would have preferred to play the Tavrod myself just because it gives you a better board presence. We get to start attacking, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that definitely has some merit as well.
So now the Tavrod comes down.
Tavrod is just a very hard card for practice mid-range to deal with.
Yeah, and now that your opponent is at 6, you really can't actually attack with this Tavrod. Ooh, okay.
Oh,
I can kind of understand this. Doesn't want to trade in the heart, just wants to go on ahead and flip the game. Flip the board into his favor.
So Interrogator plus Stand Together combo here? Oh, doesn't actually go for the draw here?
No reason to do it on your turn unless you wanted to draw a card. I don't know though. Like, do you want to bait a removal spell or draw a card? Yeah, you probably need to because you know that your opponent doesn't have torches anymore.
And also,
that's true. Yeah. You don't even want to block with the Interrogator is the thing, but I guess you have to.
Yeah, this is very unfortunate for Flippy Flop. He could have at least gotten a draw off this if he had Stand Together on his turn.
That does change how your opponent attacks and that kind of thing, but this is not looking good.
No, Flippy Flop is getting pretty destroyed. I wonder if he had been able to jam that Tavrod and like get a sword on it, whether that would have changed the course of this game.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That definitely would have changed the game, playing the Tavrod instead of the Alessi. Maybe thinking about that that grab from the market a little bit longer, because Banish does kill Titan, but after that Titan's dead, what are you going to do? You know?
Yeah, it's not like you can really outgrind practice in mid-range that well. There's not a lot of decks that can do that well. Practice. Not other mid-range decks, at least.
And I think if you were going to try to set up an Alessi at some point in that game, maybe you hold one of those Seek powers and actually play to make that Alessi as big as possible. But I mean, after seeing the torch, I don't know if that's really an option anymore. Do we have any backup games?
I'm still going. Second. So I'll just check results quickly.
You can always get us into a game, but I don't see. I think I see Prime Temps playing, but I don't know if it's a tournament match.
I think it is. Yeah, he's on the board.
Okay.
So should we go watch Prime Temps? Okay, I'll just add this Eric Yodo person who's his opponent, and you can watch Prime Temps.
Looks like Prime Temps is playing against CFAR right now.
Oh.
Yeah, I have Prime Temps. I do not have CFAR. I don't think he ever added me.
Yeah, maybe between rounds we should.
It's okay. We can still watch them.
Yeah, we'll just watch his side of it.
Right now, I'll just turn off the hand cam. So it looks like it's Wisps versus some sort of Chalice. It's a Chalice deck. Okay. What do you think about this kind of matchup? I actually think Wisps could do it if you grind hard enough. Maybe, right?
I think it really depends on the draws. Yeah, it's pretty hard to outgrind Chalice, and it looks like we're at the point in the game where it's going to be pretty impossible.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of cards in our void here, and our void's pretty beefy because of these Xenon cultists. But Chalice is at the point where they're playing, you know, small units and drawing cards. Still at 25, that's pretty bad for Prime Temps, I think.
Chalice is at the point where it's kind of playing with itself. not really playing the opponent anymore.
I really like Entrancer actually, but but it's you know, it's one of those things where you have to silence their merchants and get it going in the early game.
Yeah.
It's written right here.
So far, just drawing a million cards over there. You're just looking for channels to kind of close up this game.
Yeah. Channels to close it out. You know, honestly, he can start attacking for 4.
Yep.
I don't know if holding it back was good there.
I think I would have attacked before that.
Yeah, I would.
Like you're on 23.
Yeah. And you've got Combre Healer.
Now I don't think I would attack with both my 4-3s.
Oh yeah, definitely I would start attacking. I think Seafar is a much more deliberate control player than me. So, and I think that he primarily plays control decks. He's actually probably my favorite ECL player. I don't like to have favorites, but if I had a favorite, it would be Seafar because he always brings, it looks like to me, 3 control decks. And I think that's a that's an interesting mentality to have when you're playing Eternals, to just focus on one sort of style and just keep at it, you know. It's kind of it's just different. You don't see too many players do that.
Yeah,
So
when
it
you
looks
just
like we're
love
trying to. I thought we were trying to maybe activate Tribute, but I guess we just wanted to kill our own guy for some reason.
2-1. I guess you didn't want him to activate, to activate the chalice on it, but at this point it doesn't really matter.
And we really don't have anything to activate Tribute on in our Void. So it's really, I think, the best target for Dark Return currently is this Preserver of Dualities, and I don't really know if that will actually live. I mean, Prime Temps has seen Seafar's hand, so it's possible there's more silence effects in there. And he's just like, no, I can't actually bring this thing back. But that is probably the best card in this current scenario for him.
So Sifar finally goes for an attack with the 4-3. I would have attacked with a lot more, but yeah.
He's like, look, I'm ready to start attacking. I have a feeling we might see Prime Temps concede fairly soon. So that is the problem.
Well, he got Soulbringer.
He did, but that's the problem with doing that on your turn. Or I mean on your opponent's turn, is now you can't tribute your guy.
Well, he still can, actually. He can Magenta Wisp the 3-3.
He got lucky and he drew the Wisp, yeah, and so he can definitely do it now. But before he drew the Wisp, it was looking like that might have not have been the best thing to do.
Yeah. Brings back 2 more Wisps. Soulbringer.
Yeah, there's got to be something good in here, right? Entrancer to get another silence. I thought one of these Entrancers had Killer. Am I wrong about that?
Maybe.
Yeah. So it looks like this Entrancer had Killer. Maybe we should have brought back the Entrancer that had Killer.
With Killer.
Just like it's a small thing. It doesn't really matter too much, but you know, if your opponent played another 2-1 here and didn't use Chalice on it, it's still kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely would not block.
No.
I think you're hoping to draw something that lets you sacrifice this Entrancer and maybe get back your Soulbringer once again.
And Tribute again.
Yeah. Creeper's kind of
looks like he
interesting.
didn't find a way.
Yeah, but Creeper's
find a
still
way.
okay. You get more cards. You'll never be able to keep up with the Chalice deck, so you kind of want to get more cards anyway. And the Creeper is a nice thing to kill the deadly unit, or more likely kill one of these 4-3s since you're playing Magenta Wisp in your deck. I like this. Definitely get back the Soulbringer. Playing it is kind of interesting.
He just plays it. That's kind of odd. I think I would wait a bit. Okay, but he needs to clear the board a bit, I guess.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting. Magenta Wisp sort of does the same thing, but you don't have to play a sigil if you get back the Killer Creeper. So I kind of like that. This is the awkward thing about Soulbringer in a Wisp deck, is it's the only vanquishable target for the most part. So all those vanquishes that your opponent's been saving up are just always going to hit your Soulbringers.
There's always the buff Preserver Wisps. After you buff them twice, they become 5-1s.
Yeah, the Pathlighters can get big enough, and then also, since Prime Temps is running these cultists, there's a lot of things in your Void that can get bigger. Ooh, another Soulbringer. That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
We can turn Night on. No, it won't actually change the course of the game, but we can turn Night on again, kill one of these units. I kind of like killing the 4-3, but
Fourth way.
goes for the killing the
Yeah, the
camel
2-5
just to
couldn't
turn
attack
off the
anyway.
life draw.
Yeah, the 2-5 couldn't attack anyway, really.
Yeah,
And at this point, you're on 10 life. You kind of need to preserve your life total.
you do. Yeah, it's kind of awkward because you want to block maybe even with the Soulbringer now, which is not what
Yeah,
you
you have to.
not what you really want as a plan.
But Sifar still hasn't found the channel.
Your eye.
He is playing channel. Yes,
Is he playing channel in this? He should be.
every child plays channel.
Yeah, you would think so, but it isn't always there. Sometimes they just play Lumen Reclaimer and then just grind you out forever. I would hope CFAR isn't doing that because that would make me sad.
He has one channel, one whole.
One channel to Tempest, and there is a Lumen Reclaimer in the market. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna be here a while unless
We might be here a while, yeah. I think Prime Temps will probably concede fairly soon, maybe to the channel. Yeah.
Okay.
It's you can see
Well, he
by
died.
dying. Yeah, that makes sense. Do we know what game that was, or any information about that?
I'll ask. I should have asked before.
No, it's fine.
Where it is.
Sorry for talking over you so much in that matchup. It's just I actually kind of since I've played around with the Wisp deck quite a bit recently on ladder, I know the cards that are going in it and what the game plan is. So it's kind of exciting to
fine.
see somebody bring a Wisp deck to the tournament. That makes me happy.
Oh, it's fine. I haven't actually played a ton of the Wisp deck. I played the
Yeah.
other side a lot. Like, I played Chalice a lot, but
Ah, okay, yeah. I haven't really played Chalice very much because I find it fairly boring. It's hard for me to play control decks on stream just because you end up getting into this sort of like, oh man, I wish I could end the game, and Chalice just doesn't have enough of a conclusion to end the game fast enough that I would want to play it. Same with the temporal decks, even though they play Parliament, and it's a little bit of a faster victory.
you really want your opponents to concede at an appropriate moment with Chalice. Like if they don't, then it just drags on for quite a while.
Yeah, okay. It looks like CFAR won that match in 3, so that might be the last actual match going. I'm not positive on that. So do we want to take a little break? Are we there is going to be a top 4? Is that actually like something that's played out?
Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing semifinals and finals.
Perfect.
So that's going to be the next 2 rounds.
Awesome.
So yeah, we'll be cutting to top 4 soon. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you soon.
just keeping the tempo up and not playing, as one of my teammates would famously call it, a bad draft card. But I don't know. I kind of like the primal market. It gives you a lot of utility.
Gives you a lot of consistency as well.
Yeah.
That's the power of merchants, really.
But it looks like the Gunslingers deck is really going to run over this TJP hand at the moment just because of the lack of power on Suno's side. Maybe not, though. So if you are Kalos here, do you just attack in with this Instigator? Just go for the trade?
I think I'm actually happy to, because this Awakened Student, if it gets like a stand together on it, will be very hard to deal with, and it'll grow every turn, whereas my creature is not getting any better.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And I think that Suno might actually take this trade just because power may not be in his future.
But obviously Kalos doesn't know that.
Yes, I was just thinking of this from Suno's side. Do you actually take the trade here, or do you...
I think you do, yeah.
Yeah. Just because you're not certain you're going to draw... Yeah, the Dusk Raider is pretty nice.
That's him dig for power. And now if you're Kalos, what do you do here? I think you just play a merchant, don't you?
You could play a merchant.
Merchant for...
So Kalos has access to a Boar, a Bandit Queen, a Highwayman, a Jack, and a Banner in the market. A merchant here would probably have to get a Bandit Queen just because it would let you have a nice attack the following turn. What are your other options besides playing a merchant
Quarry
here? You would quarry, yeah.
I don't think you can play... Or you could just play the Highwayman and not attack. It's not a very exciting play, but that's something you could...
I kind of like the quarry line just because the merchant is not really extremely powerful on this board.
Okay, finds a torch, which is good for her.
Takes out the Dusk Raider. You definitely want to kill the Dusk Raiders when you get the opportunity just because of how powerful that card can be.
Okay, so draws a backup Dusk Raider and a power, which is really good for him. Next turn he can start deploying some Unseen Commandos. The chain of Unseen Commandos.
Yeah, Unseen Commandos are going to be a bit of a problem, but Kalos does have the best removal spell in Gunslinger's Inner Hand, so she'll be able to deal with at least one of those. Definitely, yeah, Jack. You want to lead with your strongest card in this spot, I think. You might be a little worried about a Vanquish. In that case, you might consider playing the Merchant, but I still think that Jack is the better play in this spot.
Yeah, definitely. I think it just uses your mana so effectively.
It does, yeah. And if you get anything with your Merchant here, you're not going to be playing it, so...
Yeah. Also, the longer the game goes on, the more information Kalos has as to what to get with her Merchant.
Yeah.
Like, later on, she might just want to get a Jack, for example. She has that one-off Jack in her market.
Yeah, and there's the slight punish on the Vanquish, but as Suno decides to Vanquish here, you don't get to play anything else, so I don't know.
No. So he does go for it.
Yeah, it's a little... I mean, that's, it's a little bad to have to do that, but at the same time, your hand is so good that it may not even matter.
Yeah.
Now Kalos gets to start deploying these Highwaymen, and that's pretty great. I wonder if you also just go on ahead and put a gun on this thing and gain some life. Probably, right?
Yeah, I would.
It's really tough to use this gun effectively, and I think gaining 6 life from it is nice. So if we draw...
Sinner's probably going to want to play an Enforcer here, because he doesn't want to trade Unseen Commando. Or Jeanette Merchant, yeah.
Yeah, Merchant is interesting because Suno could get a Permafrost here, probably, to just go on ahead and stop the aggression from Kalos. It's either Permafrost or maybe a more splashy card like Crystallize, or if we really don't want Highwayman to stick around because it's a gunslinger, could even consider Equivocate, but I don't really like Equivocate in this spot.
Nah, I don't like one.
I think it's
a defensive... Mirror Image.
Mirror Image? Yeah, well, Mirror Image definitely has some value.
Given a hand, I don't think I would because it's all 3 drops anyway.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
think in these kinds of spots, you often get mirror image just to copy your merchant. Put another blocker out. Okay, goes to the permafrost. Takes out the
Yeah.
mana.
This is definitely the defensive play, and I wonder if putting back the power is the right choice. Because at some point, I feel like if you're in Suno's position, you really need to get to 6 power in this game. Because you're.
And I feel like that this deck wants to do that anyway, right? It really wants to.
It does want to get to 6 power for sure.
I think I would have put back an Enforcer there. Or I would just not have played the Merchant, just played Enforcer and traded.
Yeah, I think that would have also been reasonable. So here, I kind of like, Queen is good, but Boar is a very interesting card in this spot because it lets you, maybe surprise attack with your Highwayman down the line. Queen is probably what I would end up getting though.
Okay, goes for Boar.
So she did get Boar. So she is thinking, I can get, just goes for the Boar this turn. That's very interesting. And offers a trade with the Highwayman. I guess the interesting part about this line is you get another Warcry trigger.
I guess.
But you have 1 on top, so now you have 2, and 2 Warcries is better than 1 technically.
Trust in your skill.
Well, true. I'm not sure I would have gone for that line still.
I might have held the Boar, but at the same time, I'm sure she has a plan.
Yeah. So I think you just attack for 3 and play this Jack.
Yeah, that seems fine. Jack's a pretty big threat, and you really don't want that guy to hit you. So I don't really see Tribute activating very often against Suno.
It's really bad news if it hits you.
Yeah. Yeah, bad news. Bad news gets a lot better when you don't have to play it in your deck, that's for sure. When you just draw it off of a Jack. Okay, this is interesting. A post-combat Highwayman. I kind of liked if I was going to play Highwayman this turn, I kind of like just playing it and jamming with it, just attacking.
Yeah, and then just trading with Unseen Commander.
Yeah, because
I think I would have played that.
Unseen Commando is one of the biggest threats out of this TJP Flyers deck, especially for an aggressive deck. So it's kind of, I think it would have been actually okay to just go ahead and trade a Highwayman for it. You've got another one in your hand as well, so.
I agree, definitely. I think I would have just played Jack, but I also prefer that line with the attack on the Highwayman.
Yeah. So now Suno's in an interesting position because the most attractive card in hand to play is the Shelterwing Rider. But you also kind of would love to play one of these other 3-drop flyers. They both have merits. Gaining 1 extra life by playing the Commando would be pretty attractive.
I think I would have just played Shelterwing Rider. But...
Yeah, I mean, Shelterwing Rider is definitely the safe play, especially if you're planning on blocking.
Because if you draw power, then next turn you can just play 2 things, and that's a big swing.
But if you're planning on not blocking here, I kind of like playing the Commando instead of the Enforcer. Now that the Queen has come down, we have to block.
Because Bandit Queen draw was huge for...
Yeah, that was a really big draw. So there's power, but it's unfortunately very depleted.
I think you just play Sheltering Rider and hold back now.
Yeah, and you probably cannot keep this Kothon, honestly.
Yeah, I would not keep this Kothon. I think really what you want to find is like more commandos or like a Sword of Unity, something.
Yeah, like, you really want a Sword of Unity right now. And unfortunately your commando cannot really attack. You could attack and just put yourself at 2, but I don't know. I think you might need to be trading this commando for one of these 2 toughness units.
You're kind of dead to anything if you put yourself to 2 here.
You are, yeah, but trading is the probably the play that doesn't win you the game. It just makes you not lose it. So it really comes down to.
Well, if you draw like a Sword of Unity, then you could still win the game from there.
That's true. Yeah, sword would be very powerful here.
So if you're Kalos, I think you just play a Highwayman and shoot the Shelterwing Rider's Aegis off and
you could, yeah. The other attractive play is get the tribute on the Jack. The problem with that is it does basically the same thing as just playing the Highwayman. So I do like playing the Highwayman and just swinging with it. Pop that Aegis on the Rider, going ahead and get in for your damage.
You don't lose a creature that way as well if you just swap the
Yeah.
edge of the building.
You'll lose one of these 2 health creatures, right? Oh, went face
Oh, goes
with
face.
the.
Is that lethal?
It might be. I may have not. Yeah, it's lethal. So
Yeah, it's
Kalos
lethal.
did
Okay.
the math. I did not, and takes
Yeah, I
the
did not.
first game.
Yep, takes it out.
So that means we're going to be looking at.
At this armory versus removal by matchup.
Yeah, it could be. I don't really know. I think TJP flyers could play pretty well into this Rakano Armory deck.
That's true because you have Hero Pacify, which is a really powerful card. I guess.
Oh, is there? I bet there is Pacifier in that list. I didn't even see. I didn't even look.
I assume so.
I would assume so too. I mean, it is TJP flyers. You would hope that it would have one of the best flyers in it, but
It doesn't.
you know, it does not have Pacifier, but it does have.
That's very strange.
It is a bit strange, but it does have Sword of Unity and Stand Together, so that's fairly powerful. But it doesn't have an on-demand Stand Together, so that might be kind of a little bit of a demerit in its favor against the Armory deck.
So I think, given that the CGP flies deck doesn't have Pacifier, it's a pretty close matchup. I think with Pacifier, it'd be a lot better in their favor.
Yeah, so it looks like they're back into the game, and it looks like Suno did pick the TJP flyer deck again.
Okay, and Kalos is on. Okay, Kalos is on the Rakano Armory deck.
Yes, she has to be playing the Armory deck, and Suno's hand looks good. This is the exact kind of hand you want to have against an Armory deck. You've got the student on turn 2, and you've got the Stand Together.
Yeah, I think it's definitely keep.
This is the makeup that you want.
Kalos also has a keep in.
Yeah.
Whirling Greyhound.
Yeah, you don't have the Torch, which is something you'd like to have just to answer the student on turn 2. But Whirling Duo is nice to gain a little bit of life and apply some pressure back. And Vanquish is always going to have a target against this Flyers deck. So
I don't think you keep with Permafrost.
probably not. Permafrost doesn't seem...
You want a 3-drop flyer.
Yeah, Permafrost definitely does not seem appealing in this matchup. You do need to have some sort of answer to Razan, that's for sure. So that might have been the hesitation on putting it on the bottom.
That's like a turn 6 play, though. I don't think you worry about that right now.
True, and you do play Primal Merchants, which basically give you the ability to go on ahead and get one of those, that Permafrost that you might need later.
So Kalos has the Swords of the Courier to answer the student if doesn't leave up Stand Together.
Yeah, and I think you're probably pretty safe at this point to go ahead and play that commando. I would not leave up Stand Together, but
nor would I.
Maybe because you know your opponent's deck, you've got the read on Torches plus the Sword of Icarius, and you're like, okay, I know what could happen to me on turn 3.
Okay.
There was definitely hesitation out of Suno. I think that he thought about that.
So I think you just have to sword the Awakened Student here. You can't let that get any bigger.
Because you have a Vanquish, I think you can actually sword the 2/3 like Kalos just did.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's kind of interesting because the Shelter Wing Rider is going to be a bit of a punish for that. Because you'd really also like to pop the Aegis on this rider. Oh, so that's interesting. Suno decides to leave up the Stand Together.
That's interesting.
I kind of like it just because it is possible for one student to go the distance against this deck. She is not removal pile, so it's important to remember that she does not run thousands of removal spells. Her big removal is from Harsh Rules and Vanquishes, so...
Do you go for this Vanquish here? Well, Suno has 3 mana up. I think I would just play Duo.
No, I think you definitely go for this Vanquish, because you can't really... You like playing the Duo?
Yeah, because then if he taps out on another turn, then you can just race with the Duo. If Suno taps out on another turn, then you can just Vanquish it.
That is true, yeah. I didn't pay attention. Did Suno actually keep the Equivocate on top? because I know that he drew one, but I didn't know if he kept it.
I think he kept it, which is interesting.
Equivocate's not the best in this matchup, actually.
I would not have kept it. It's not.
So now we definitely play the Rider. We're done. We're done holding up spells. Stand Together's gone.
Oh, that's a reasonable touch. Sure.
Yeah, it's reasonable, especially since you... I mean, you kind of need to take this turn to develop your privilege, to actually play the privilege rank and develop your power. I mean, you could play duo and then just going ahead and gain 3 life. And, you know, torch the shelter wing rider.
Yeah, torch the shelter wing.
But I don't really know.
I'm not sure
know if that's going to help that much.
Yeah, I think I would just play rank here, and then like when Suno attacks, I guess torch the rider then.
Yeah.
I think regardless, that's a pretty bad spot to be in for Kalos.
Yeah, Kalos is in a pretty bad spot for sure. This is nice. I mean, this is, you know, you get to do 3 damage here when you're Kalos on the return swing, maybe. Just a little. I mean, you got to look for the positives when the game isn't quite going your way.
I mean, it's not over. She could still just rip a harsh roll or something.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to see her rip a harsh roll. That's for sure. Or a vanquish. Just something that kills a student. And that's another torch.
Alright. I think you just play Razan here. Game 3. Shoot to the face.
Yeah.
It's not exciting, but what?
No, it's not exciting. That's probably the only way that you end up living through this turn, especially if you can see both hands. If we think about not being able to see both hands, then duo plus sword could kind of be attractive. Just get in for 3, gain 3 life, get a Warcry trigger. It might do a little bit more than Razan. The problem is we know that Suno has an Equivocate, and Kalos also knows that Suno has some sort of fast spell.
Also, I think even if she gains 3 off the Rizan, she's just dead on the swing back because Suno can play a power first.
True,
take an
yes.
88, and then Equivocate and kill her.
That is a good point, yeah. If
I don't think Kalos
Suno sees the play of playing playing his power, then
I think she's going to hold back with this duo and try to chump here.
That's interesting. That makes sense though, because you are dead to a power basically, unless this duo actually connects. Well, if this duo connects, you can also play Sword of Ikaria. I probably would have done this post combat, so you're right. She's planning on blocking with this duo.
Okay, goes to the end of turn.
Didn't attack with the sword because she didn't want to die to a stand together on the spot. Still pretty much dead to a stand together, but
she's dead regardless.
She is now dead regardless. Yes.
All right, that was a pretty quick one.
So that means the last matchup is going to be Removal Pile versus this Rakano Armory deck, and we get to finally see who was correct. Even though we really didn't come to a consensus, but see what deck building style is correct. Consistency or removal, I guess, is what you could classify the other deck as.
I think consistency is in having like 4 cull effects, 4 quarries, because you pick up a lot of consistency there.
That's true. I was thinking more power consistency.
I think I favor Suno here.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I'm just going to go with Kalos to be opposite of you, but I can definitely see... I can definitely see Suno taking this match just from the card draw aspect alone. All right, looks like they're back in it.
Okay. This hand is not great for Kalos.
Yeah, they can't see it yet, but I don't know about that hand. All right, she mulliganed.
And Suno kept a... Yeah,
this is a good hand. You kind of want Rise to the Challenge in this matchup. I would say that's one of your best cards. And this hand also basically represents 2 Ikarias if you really want them. 3 Ikarias now, heck. But you're probably not going to get an Ikaria at this point with the Rise.
No. I think
probably, maybe a Daisho. Yeah, Rune Hammer could be good. Daisho could be good. There's a lot of good weapons in this matchup.
So you can see Kalos can't actually play her baby Ikaria here because she doesn't have influence with her.
Unfortunately, yeah. Yeah, I was talking about consistency, but sometimes even when you play the deck that has the most sigil consistency, you do not get your cards down on turn where you want them to be.
Senna doesn't want that rune hammer.
So Kalis is running a fire merchant in this Rakano armory deck. I kind of like that. The boar could be really powerful in this matchup if she ends up drawing one of her merchants. Does not play the Ikaria. Wants to wait until she can play it and ramp with it. That's a while though, right? Isn't that 5?
Yeah, 5 mana.
I'm
Not sure I would have waited, but
I might have also thought about running out one of these enforcers.
enforcers.
I
think I would have.
Yeah, if you're not going to play the little Ikaria, then enforcer is kind of an attractive play.
Yeah, it's not like removal pile is going to give you a ton of options with what to silence it. It's not like you have to wait for ages. It's like Statuary Maiden, I guess. It would be the
Yeah,
silence.
that's true. There are maidens in Suno's list, and I could see silencing those being okay. Not super great, just because you're going to harsh rule away anyway, and the cudgels are probably not going to be what beats you in this game. So she did draw a fire merchant.
What does she go for here?
She could get the preemptive boar, but there's also an Ikaria, which is kind of appealing, although she doesn't have the power yet for that. Like, she doesn't really even have...
She could also just get a Rakano banner.
That is definitely the weakest thing to get, and I'm not sure that she'll be able to win this matchup if she gets a banner. It's really hard.
That's true.
It's really hard to... it's hard to market for a power and then be able to like keep coming back, because she's got to put back a good card here to do that.
Yeah.
It'll get the job done.
So if she's putting back a good card, it's going to be
Maybe Ikaria, maybe?
maybe, yeah. She could put back a Ikaria. I actually don't know what I want to...
Like, harsh rule?
Well, she didn't play the enforcers early, so putting back the harsh rule feels kind of weird to me, because it feels like she was planning on letting Suno maybe play a couple of threats and then ruling away the board. The problem
I don't
with
think
that
that's
is
really how this matchup goes.
No, it isn't, and so I guess I can see putting harsh rule back. Obviously, she has a very tough choice here, because it's...
I think it's one of those two. Maybe Ikaria or harsh rule here.
Yeah, she could also consider putting back the Vanquish, but there's going to have to be, I think, a tempo play, where you play the Enforcer and Vanquish in a turn.
I think Vanquish is a lot better than harsh rule here. Like, with Enforcer plus Vanquish, you can take down an Ikaria and you don't have to lose any of your board to do so. What did she put back on? Oh, she put back an Enforcer. Interesting.
Yeah. She
Not
got the
what
plate, which is also another interesting choice. So she didn't go for the power. She did go for the powerful card. And plate
What do you
is...
got?
Would I have gotten plate? Probably not. But plate is a powerful card. But I just don't think that this... when you're playing against a deck that's playing Annihilates and Slays and things like that, it's really hard to get
the plate and play it and have the unit survive with the plate on it. It's just very hard to do that.
So she drew a Bullet Shaper, which is, I mean, that's pretty nice. I don't know.
Maybe go 2/2 here. Just play two drops.
Yeah, probably. I think we're done trying to make this baby Ikaria be both play and ramp. Might be a little... We might be past that point in the game, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think 5 mana is just very hard to reach to do that.
Enforcer.
Okay, what's that Enforcer?
Probably not the play that I would have made.
Nor me.
Mostly because the Enforcer is kind of weak on this board, and we really wanted to be able to pop the Aegis on Ikaria if that was going to come down later.
Yeah, or silence or resound or something. Alright, draws a return. I think you probably attack for 3 and play 2/2 drops now. I think you have to do this.
Yeah, you definitely play both. She might still consider holding the little Ikaria though.
I think that's pretty bad.
I don't really like it, but I think she's very committed to this ramp and buff my Valkyries plan. Now, especially now that she's drawn Rizon. Of course, that's getting punished because now Bullet Shaper is dead. And we drew another Rizon, which is quite unfortunate. But I think it's time. It really is time to play the little Lucario. Yeah, it's definitely... I think we should do it now. There we go.
Okay, we finally did it.
And just in time to get it torched, unfortunately.
Oh. The funny thing is, if she played it like a while ago, it wouldn't have gotten torched.
Well, if she'd played it on turn 2, it definitely would have. But because oh god, that's so many Icarias. Suno did have a he had a torch in hand. But I also think that there were a lot of points in this game where Icaria was definitely the right play alongside your Bullet Shaper.
I agree.
So
what is Kalos going to get here? Like just a Runehammer? What of Icaria? Probably Runehammer.
Honestly, Runehammer, I don't think she has any Runehammers. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure she doesn't have any of those. She could get a Sword of Icaria. That way she can kill an Icaria that comes down. We know that that's unfortunately a losing play.
Yes.
She could get a Bullet Shaper. And that might be an interesting choice because if she draws something like Privilege of Rank, she could actually still develop her power. She could also consider a Little Icaria, which would be kind of interesting because if you draw 5th power, you could do that that plan you'd been planning this whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, her choices are not very good. Enforcer could be okay. She gets
Oh,
a
Merchant is
okay.
actually quite good. You can get a banner with this Merchant, which we need to do now, definitely.
She could get a banner, and probably needs to.
Yeah, I think she definitely should. So, Icaria number 1 comes down. I feel like that's not the last one we'll see this game.
Yeah, I don't really think that we're going to be able to beat this single Icaria with our hand the way it is, actually. I don't think she can do it just because of the...
What about Icaria number 2 that's about to come out?
Yeah, Icaria number 2 is still a problem as well. But this Icaria number 1 is basically unbeatable.
Yes.
We do have... there is a plate. Putting back Harsh Rule is kind of interesting. I guess there's no real way to...
break Icaria Aegis.
Yeah, to break this Aegis.
I guess you have to hit like 6 mana to Rizon it.
Yeah.
Rizon one of these Icarias and then Harsh Rule. It's not very realistic.
Oh, man.
So if she plates, she still dies to the attacks.
Does her Rizon have Life Steal yet? Probably does, right? No, it does not.
And she can't play at this time anyway.
Yes, that's true. But I was thinking even if she could, I think it might not have been enough just because of that. Like she could block one of these Icarias, but without the life gain, it was probably impossible.
I think you plate the Enforcer and hope he doesn't attack with both his Icarias. That's her.
Yeah, that is a thought for sure. You could do that. I don't think it's gonna work, but that is probably.
Well, you could plate the Merchant and attack for 10, and.
Yeah, but that also basically still kills you because I mean Suno knows that nothing's actually gonna kill him at 6 life, so there's no like he could have even chumped with the Merchant if he wanted to.
Yeah, I tried to find the options when there are no options.
All right, so looks like Suno took it in 3 games, and that means we are going to see Suno versus.
Who won in the other round?
Cracked won, but Cracked Variety won. So we're going to see Suno versus Cracked Variety in just a few minutes here. So we're going to take a tiny little break, and then if you're okay with that, Drifter,
yeah,
take a little bit of a break, and I'm going to do some production stuff, and then we'll be back with the finals.
All right, see you later, everyone.
both of Crack Variety's left list that they have left. And Crack Variety went with the Rakano Armory deck. So he might not be too confident that Yetis can win either.
I think Yetis versus TJP Flyers would be pretty hard. Oh, draws that. Was that Fire Source, which he really needed?
Oh, that's nice. Going for the torch is sort of interesting instead of playing the Bullet Shaper.
I think he didn't want to get stand together or finance out there. I can kind of see it.
Yeah.
Okay, he's going to have to silence the second one.
Yeah, he will. He will definitely have to silence this other one. And it's kind of interesting. Not playing the Bullet Shaper has left him in a position where he really, honestly, Bullet Shaper probably wasn't too great in these early turns because you don't really want to discard your privilege until it's ready to make you enough power. And it's there is an interesting play where he plays the Bullet Shaper, discards the privilege, and then also maybe plays an Enforcer in the same turn, which could be kind of interesting.
Yeah. I think that's working out better for him because the Bullet Shaper wouldn't have really done anything on the board anyway. It's a 3/3. It has to. Oh, that's the block. Interesting. Yeah, I think he just thinks he's really not the aggressor in this match.
He is definitely not the aggressor, I think, and he has identified as such. And what's kind of interesting in this as well is, Suno's not going to have follow-up play if he decides to Finest Hour. I think
Suno was not expecting that block there.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So
because it's trading down a unit quite badly is the thing.
I was about to ask, if you're Suno, what do you get from your market? And I do think Mirror Image is probably the best call just because you're now in for a grind.
Yeah, I think I agree.
Do we play both Bullet Shapers? All right, I guess that is what is going on.
That would want to discard privilege. That's kind of weird. I guess you can still do so.
Yeah, so he just needs to draw a powerful card like Ikaria or Razan to be able to take advantage of this privilege now.
So, Science is pre-combat. Oh, I guess he doesn't want to attack with the merchant. Interesting. Yeah, I guess he's waiting for he wants to be able to mirror image the merchant.
Yeah, definitely. I think Suno's in for the grind right now. And his second trip to the market can get an unseal, which is pretty appealing. Oh, this is okay. So
I guess he's going to end the story. Yeah,
that's interesting. I don't know if it's time to pull the trigger on your only board wipe, but maybe it is.
Well, it does kind of cut off this mirror image, so it might work out well for him.
Well, I mean, it looks like Suno figured it out because there was no block.
He chooses not to block.
Perfect. I think Sigil is probably where you want to be right now. Just going ahead and mirror image this merchant, toss the Sigil back, grab the unseal. It's probably what I would do, and then you have a way to stop this this into the story. As long as you don't trigger.
I don't know what else is in the market. Okay.
You could get Equivocate maybe. Would be okay in this matchup. There's also a Crystallize and a Permafrost in there.
Okay. Fair enough. I think Unseal is the best of those options.
Yeah, definitely.
Just telegraphed end the story quite largely.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if Suno is considering maybe we just trade Enforcers. Could that be okay in this spot? And he decided no, it is not okay.
Yeah, when you want to stand together, get deck, you kind of want to wait a while, don't you?
Yeah, you don't really want to trade things away. Well, we still can't block as Crack Variety, but this end of the story is not going to be super good, I think.
Not against this Unseal.
I kind of like attacking with the Merchant with Aegis as well. I don't really know how important the Aegis is anymore on having an Aegis unit on the board.
I think it's interesting because Crack Variety doesn't know about Suno's Unseal, so he might be valuing the Aegis a lot. So I think he would snap take that trade. Suno doesn't really want to offer it to him on that basis.
That's a good point. And it did kind of force this all-out attack from Crack Variety because I think that he's ready to pull the trigger on this Unseal. I mean, on this story, my bad.
Yeah. And it's going to get unsealed, and then he's going to be hit back for like 12, which is a lot of damage.
It is a lot of damage, and we might just be looking at a stand together away from closing this one. Okay.
Decides not to go for it.
Yeah, that's interesting. And he sees the pause on just the no pause, like, you know, ending the turn, but sees the pause on the counter spell. So he knows that there is an unseal in Suno's hand.
Does he know if it's an unseal or just a fast spell?
He knows it's an unseal because he played the privilege and that had a pause, but then there was no pause at the end of his turn.
Right. So you just block one of these 2/3s, I guess.
Yeah.
And then take 5, get a 6.
Yep, and unfortunately, I think there's now no way for Cracked Variety to win this game.
Yep. It's unsealed, and then I can just swing back and kill him now. Yep. That was a quick one.
It was quick, yeah, and I guess that that means it's going to be big praxis against either Yetis or Armory, and if you're right, and Yetis has a better matchup against big praxis than something like the Armory deck, then we might be seeing praxis versus Yetis next.
I think I'm not sure, given Crack Variety's specific list, given his like Snow Stingers and Yeti Spiders, but I think in general Yetis is favored. Just having played a bunch of Yetis.
Yeah, and I could definitely see that. Are there any? I want to see if there's any crunches. Okay, there are crunches in Cracked Variety's list, but there are no Slope Sergeants. It looks like Cracked Variety's trying. Oh, there are Slope Sergeants. Ugh, I'm just so hard for me to read these lists. What am I even doing? There are 3 Slope Sergeants. Okay, and then there's a couple Yeti Pults. I'm just wondering if there's any way for this Yeti deck to take it to the late game against the Praxis deck. It's going to be pretty tough. It looks like they're back in their match.
Okay, let's go watch. Okay. So we're in, they just finished mulligans, it looks like. So Crack Variety has a 2-lander, fortunate, but if he hits a power, that's pretty good. And he can just discard these privileges to Bullet Shaper. That's not bad.
He could, and you know that might be it's tempting to just do it now. Just to get the power, but I don't know if he can do that. I guess if he did that, he could then play the other Shaper as well, which is sort of attractive because then you can maybe even double block if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's true.
Or chump block, like you said.
I think double blocking is better than chump blocking, yeah, to be fair. Although it does play into Torch.
It does play into Torch fairly hard, yeah.
This'll do the trick.
Okay. Suno might not even go for it here, the attack, because he doesn't actually have a torch. He might want to just wait for his...
I think you could still go for the attack. You're cutting off Crack Variety from... If he decides to double block, you're cutting him off from his power ramping, which is nice.
Yeah, that's true.
And then if he decides to chump block, you're just getting a unit off the board, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that this is actually good for both players, which is sort of interesting. But you don't mind losing your teachers these days because the effect isn't quite as powerful as it used to be. It's still very good, but the difference between 2 and 3 is a lot in these.
It's massive.
Yeah, in these card draw matchups.
So he's marketing here. What do you get here? Okay, it looks like he's just going straight for harsh rule.
He just went for the harsh rule, which is sort of interesting because he's already got an end of the story in hand. Vanquish might have been kind of a good stopgap against what Suno could be putting out.
I think he just decided he needs as many rule effects as he can get in this matchup. Which
that's a pretty wise decision.
I feel like it's wise as long as you can get good harsh rules off, because otherwise you just get kind of outground by these Heart of Revolt.
Yeah. Hard is the big problem card for this deck to try to grind through.
So now, Crack Variety is probably just waiting for a harsh rule now.
Yeah, there's maybe a little merit to playing the non-crat, like playing the privilege and then just torching that Trailmaker. But I guess Since you're planning on harsh ruling anyway, you know, you don't really care if your opponent plays another threat.
Although this particular threat, Obelisk, is not one you can harsh rule away.
Yeah. And so, you know, your opponent played, like, they developed an Obelisk, so there's no hiding the rule at this point. I think you just are going to have to block as much damage as possible. And Suno didn't even attack with the Trailmaker, so... And decides not to play another Trailmaker, which is fairly wild. I mean, it's a good decision.
I agree. Like that trump block just signaled a harsh rule really pretty hard.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if you ever played Trailmaker there.
Time quickens.
Yeah, and maybe there's an argument for Cracked Variety to just take the damage if he thought that his opponent was going to play another card, but because he developed an Obelisk and not the Heart, he knew that that was like not even a possibility, most likely. This is an 8-power Obelisk. That's scary.
Mm.
Do we have?
But now he's forcing him to play the Heart of Vol here.
Yes.
2 damage is not enough. Okay. So now we're going to see an end of the story here.
And probably hold this Teacher.
Yeah, I agree.
There's some merit to playing Ikaria there as well, I think. You have 2 in your hand, and your opponent might not actually... Like, I mean, you're going to take 7 for that, but they're... I don't know. I can agree with playing the end of the story. Ooh, that's nice. But we can you can always do that next turn, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, now, oh, there's a heart. Okay, I was about to say now this game is looking like Cracked Variety is definitely in the lead, but
a heart might change.
The heart kind of flips that a little bit.
I
may have played the crest.
Yeah. He needs action pretty badly. I would have played the crest.
Yeah. So if you're Cracked Variety, do you play the second? Oh, okay. I was about to ask, do you play the second Ikaria, or do you just attack and go for the harsh rule?
I think given that you can two-zone block him, I like this line.
Yeah, I do too.
Cracked Variety is taking. Asuna wants to attack with both. And Crack just goes to 7.
Yeah, but taking the Teacher hit's a little scary because if there was a Titan drawn off that, then suddenly the game becomes a little bit harder to win. I mean, you still have a harsh rule, though.
I think crested there, actually. Why didn't he crest first before he put attack with Teacher? Like if you crest, it gives you more information about your draw.
Yeah, I definitely would have crested.
It digs you into a wasp if he has any wasps. I'm not sure if he has any wasps.
I don't know, but I definitely think you wanted to draw Titan there if possible, probably.
Or wasp. We saw Suno hang on to his crest a bit there, which I think he did for too long.
Yeah, and so we're gonna see Yetis against Praxis as the final match. That's kind of exciting because I would like to see how this goes.
Yeah, I'm not sure with the Yeti Spy version.
I'm not sure either.
I think you have a keep for Cracked Variety. It's a pretty reasonable hand.
And I have a wonderful bug on mine, so I need to redo the spectating.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks like a pretty good hand for Cracked Variety. Now it's a really good hand. It's a little awkward because your champion isn't going to be fully developed, but it's still quite good. So
yeah, you can just like crunch and pop next time.
Suno has probably the most important card of the matchup in his hand, which is Titan. Deciding to develop the Trailmaker is probably correct because you want to play the Titan next turn, but not being able to torch this champion means you're going to take a lot of damage.
Okay, interesting.
I actually probably would have just taken the trade.
Yeah, I would have traded that.
But hey, you know, Torch got value. That's pretty hard against a big Praxis deck.
That's true. So now, can I get 6 damage in? I mean, sorry, Crack gets 6 damage in.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, it's only going to be 2 because of the Torch, but Crunch Pock is about to come down.
He doesn't really have a great answer for this Sansalton.
He does not, and that's the problem with Pok Pok is that now he pretty much either has to suicide his Crunch or suicide his Pok Pok, which is awkward because you really don't want to suicide anything.
Yeah. Draws nothing off the top.
Yeah, so now he's probably going to have to just suicide the Pok Pok. I can't imagine he attacks with the Crunch as well.
Yeah, yes. Alright. So Suno is like a turn away from doing anything. Oh, he draws a Dawn.
He drew a Dawnwalker, which is pretty good.
Gets that 3/5 damage in. Ooh, Womp.
Wump is a good start. You could actually attack with the Crunch now if you wanted to. It's a little bad because you have to trade both your snowballs for the Titan.
Well,
but I think you kind of...
He just blocks with his own walker, doesn't he?
Well, he could, but then Crack Variety gets to draw 2 cards.
That's true.
And I don't think he wants him to draw. I don't really like the attack with the Snow Slinger all that much, but I guess getting Dawnwalker off the board can be attractive.
Well, now now the Yeti player has gone down to nothing versus Heart of the Vault.
Yeah.
Womp is about to die.
Yeah, Heart of the Vault is the soul crusher for the Yeti deck. Killing a Wump like this for free is pretty much the end of the game.
Crack Variety's had enough of that.
Well, that was the sad ending.
Yes.
But hey, Suno takes it.
Mm.
Congratulations to your ECL Sunday tournament winner.
Champion? You know?
Champion. Yeah, champion's probably a better word. I like being a winner, but you're right. A champion is more exciting.
Yeah, we just saw a champion in Fury.
We did indeed.
Yep, Suno wins 2-1, I believe, last match. 2-1.
Yes.
So congratulations to Suno.
Is there anything we want to say before we go to the ending screen? Because I'm not sure that the ending screen has...
I'll just check the back.
Okay. But I would like to say thanks everybody for watching, and I had a lot of fun my first time casting, and not a lot of fun producing. But hey, we did our best. We didn't do too bad.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks to my co-host Grimpan.
Yeah, thank you, Drifter. You did really awesome. Oh, do I want to talk about? No, I don't need to talk about my stream. I don't want to advertise. I do stream on Twitch TV though. So if anybody doesn't know that.
Yeah, you should definitely tune into Grimpan's stream. Yeah. I help on the draft channel a lot if people want to visit. I'm mostly a draft player. I play some ranked as well, but so yeah, if people want to visit, get some draft advice, they're welcome to. The team I'm in, Team Draft Shaft, we produce a lot of guides for draft. We did the TDC tier list. Yeah, we produced a lot of draft content.
I did not know you were part of TDC. That's awesome. Your tier list is really good.
Oh, thanks. Oh, I didn't know you'd had a look over it.
I have looked at your tier list because I don't know if you remember, but there was a little drama. I think it was your team versus my team.
Oh.
Yeah, now I can hear the smile. I can tell you remember that now.
Yeah, I didn't remember you being a part of it, but I didn't.
I was not. I just read it. I just read both things.
Yeah, I was one of the people who contributed to the TDC tier list.
To be fair, I like both tier lists. I think both tier lists have some merit.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
So you guys do great work. That's really neat.
All right, thank you for watching, everyone. Congratulations to Suno again. Anything else you want to say, Grimpan? Thanks to Grimpan for producing and casting. That's a really hard job that he had tonight, and I think he pulled off both roles really well.
I think the only thing I want to say is, and thank you for the thanks, is the tournament and the website and everything is ran by your guys' donations. So thank you all for the support, and just keep doing what you're doing.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I hope everyone enjoyed it. Feel free to leave feedback. We'll read over some of the Twitch comments. All right, thank you everyone. See you next time.